My decision to go on YouTube with my experiences as a dragon, which was not that easy actually, to be very honest. I wanted to keep it for myself and sometimes write about it once I came to know my friend. And I came to understand that there are more people than myself, more people that actually hold it back, hold everything back, so that they don't let their dragon be released. And I say to you, my brothers and sisters, unleash the dragon so that you can be free. That is eventually what you have to do. That is your task on the dragon's path, to roar, to do that, to not physically roar like rawr, like some that everyone hears it. No, inside of yourself, that you hear yourself roar inside of, like every roar is actually a roar for help. Help! I'm alone here in this world, and I feel the dragon within, but I am so lost. That is what you actually ask your dragons, so that you unleash your dragon instincts. That is what I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters. So that you will feel nothing at all like a human, that you will always protect, not fight, but always protect. And that is typically dragon behavior, and of everything that belongs to it. A dragon instinct will grow to it. But with that said, with there are so many people that hold behind, but I wanted to go on YouTube and explain a bit more about the dragon, but I was afraid until I came to across another YouTuber that was already very much popular, to my surprise, that also talked about dragons. That was as Azura Dragon Feather, I believe, and but she was amazing. I mean, she had so many views, and I was like, oof, wow. Talking about dragons, I didn't actually know that there are so many people that also are on this kind of spiritual path. But I wanted to explain it a bit different than how she does. How she does is, yeah, much more straightforward. Well, I actually wanted to explain much more of my experiences and how I feel things, like throwing the book away and say how I feel things, how I do things, even though every single dragon is different, but I still want to explain to you how I do things, how I also my history with this. I am 20 years on the dragon's path. Every single year that eventually something happened, every single year is a new story and a new chapter inside of my dragon's path. And I wanted to explain this to you, my brothers and sisters. So I started my YouTube page and explained to you a bit more about the dragon's path. Like, for example, how the dragons are and how I feel the dragons, how we feel the dragons, how the dragon's eye is, what the dragon eye is, how I came to discover all of that because of my dragon mentor, the witch that I came across with. It was all meant to be on the dragon's path, and I owe it all to Azura Dragonfeather, now much more known as the dragon. I mean, the drag. How she was? The draconic priestess. Yes, of course. But to my surprise, and that is something that I wanted to talk about, even though I looked up to her very much, that she dared to do this. I was very much afraid that people would say I'm crazy because I heard that enough in my 20 years. And if I go worldwide, then so I was afraid that I was going to hear it as well. And I am the last one to judge anyone. I mean, no one. I don't judge anyone. I mean, every single dragon's path is different. But I came to see that eventually I didn't hear from her for a long time until she came back as a Muslim. And I was very much surprised because Islam is an Abrahamic religion. And I used to be in an Abrahamic religion in Catholicism. And I know as a fact that this is a right hand spirituality. The dragon's path is a left hand spirituality, which means no priests, no leaders, no books even. Just do your thing, how you feel it. Like I said, I want to explain it how I feel it. And that is what the dragon's path is. The dragon's path is for every individual different. But how I see how she wears, a headscarf with horns on it, there is something that feels wrong with it. and I cannot say what. I mean, like I said, the dragon's path is a left-hand spirituality, and even in Islam, for example, she calls herself now an Islamic dragon witch. I mean, being a witch, and that is what I know from being on an Abrahamic religion, is haram, which means it's wrong. Even though if you are a witch, it's actually forbidden inside of that spirituality. You cannot use magic. If you use magic, then you are not inside of that religion, even though she follows the rules of Allah. And also, she came to claim that that is what hurts me inside of my heart, really. Um, yeah, of course, I cannot judge, but I just say it to you. I want to share this with you. Um, she claims that her dragons led her to Allah. Allah slash Yahweh slash whatever. He had so many names. You know where my dragons led me after all these years? My dragons led me not only to freedom, freedom of dogma, freedom of religion, freedom of anything, but also led me to Tiamat. There is no one higher than her. I mean, came to understand, and she's not the one that I have to bow down 5 times at each day before. That is what you have to do as Islam, as a Muslim. You have to do, you have to pray, you have to. No, for Tiamat, you don't have to pray. You just talk with her. You don't need to submit yourself. On the dragon's path, we don't submit ourselves to the dragons. No, we become one together. We are one with the dragons. Also, her last video, she claims that dragons are jinn. Dragons are the same as jinn. Jinn, for example, is something that I came to understand is a creature created by Allah that was very much malevolent against humankind. And also that they are like spirits, they are like ghosts, like that you cannot see them. What I came to understand is, of course, a lot of people disagree with me, is that the jinn didn't bow down for the creation of humanity. But also, yeah, if it's true or not, I'm not too deep in that religion. That is why I should not actually judge. But in my eyes, there cannot be a greater difference between the dragon's spiritual path, which is free, which is left-handed, which is being yourself, crying out for the instincts that you have, a dragon instinct that is crying out everywhere. I mean, the roar for help, we roar for our dragons. We are definitely not human inside of ourselves. We fight to protect. We even have this pure sexual energy that is pure draconic, and it's a creation. That is something that you don't do on the dragon. I mean, on this right-hand spiritual path that everyone takes the same, because you have to read this kind of book, my brothers and sisters, to understand everything, and it contradicts each other with every single page. I mean, if Muhammad entered the cave, was completely described inside only him, but nonetheless it was completely, every single detail what happened inside of that cave was described inside of that book, even though no one saw it and he couldn't even write it. How did they know it? I mean, no, that is not a thing. That is not what we are. We don't have to submit to something like that. We don't even submit to the dragons. We only came to understand ourselves. That is the journey of the dragon's path, to understand ourselves alongside with the dragons by our side. This is the point of the dragon's path, of being free, of being the dragons themselves, being one with the dragon. That is the entire reason why you are on the dragon's path, the search for your true self, the search for the dragons, to be with the dragons. That is the only thing that you have to do on the dragon's path. This is just a test. This is just where we are far away from home. Our light belongs to the dragons. It belongs to the dragons by our side. And not, that I came to understand, even Allah, Yahweh, or whatever, is even on the side was even, when I heard the story, it was even on the side as Marduk, the one that split Tiamat in two as a jealous demigod. As a jealous demigod that wanted to create life only for life to submit to him so that he would have the power of the creation of Tiamat. That is what I came to understand from this. And I will never, ever submit to Allah, to Yahweh, to whatever God anymore, because I used to be. And that is where I came have this knowledge from this. But everyone doing the same. That is not for the dragons to come. Of course, a lot of people say to me, why do you always keep yourself busy with this right-hand religions? Because, my brothers and sisters, Azura dragon feather, or the draconic priestess, we don't have priests, by the way, but she called herself like this. And yeah, there are some mistakes in it. That's just the same thing as I found mistakes in the book. For example, Dancing with Dragons. Like, she claimed that you can command dragons. No, you cannot command dragons. And you cannot command you. No one can command you. No Allah can command you. You are a dragon. Maybe that is why she said that dragons are much more like jinn, because they are also disobedient against Allah. But we are not disobedient. We just do whatever the hell we want. That is the difference, what we want. So I don't want to look down at her. Of course not. I look up at her. I look up at her. That is the reason why I'm telling this. I am on YouTube because of her braveness to do something like this. But I wanted to take a different approach to the Dragon's Path, to explain to you how the Dragon's Path is. Not reading from books, but reading from my own experiences and my past and everything that I feel and think about it. That is what I want to share with you. Whatever you do with this, that is up to you. If you want to go inside of a religion, then that is up to you. But I heavenly discourage that, because actually that is the worst thing that you can do, according to me, is to mix different paths with it, and certainly with right-hand religions. That because it contradicts with our path. No one can take control of the dragon, and that is what the right-hand religion is. They can take control over you, and that is not what we should do. Maybe I don't understand something. Maybe there is so many things that I don't understand, that I'm judging actually too much, and that I shouldn't say all of this. But it's because actually she was my great example. And to see her like this, like, no, it actually a bit hurts. It stings to see people that should understand the dragon, unlike anyone else, and yet do something like this. Maybe I am not far enough on the dragon's path to understand whatever she's going through. But I can say this, is this actually the reason because you are inside of, I don't know, a culture? And this culture, I was raised as Catholic because it was my culture. My family was inside of this culture, and sometimes you cannot leave this culture behind. That you finally see your own light, but you still have these cultural things that, like, you say, yeah, I love the dragon, but yeah, Yahweh is the true God. Forget all you know, or think you know. On the dragon's path, the only thing you need are your instincts.